guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be checking out the brand new line of Mega Man action figures from Funko. Yeah, this was kind of a surprise that I had no idea was coming until they announced the figures. And now they are showing up at GameStop stores, which I walked in and found the entire wave. I got really lucky. You can see my nice, gigantic price tags from GameStop right there on the corner of the boxes, or sometimes on the back. They're so sporadic with their price tags. But we got the whole first wave here, and as you can see from looking at it, it's mostly just repaints of the same Mega Man figure over and over again. Go figure. It seems like every time we get a Mega Man toy line, that's what happens. And don't get me wrong, I understand it. I know it's a great way to save money and put out a bunch of figures, and I know as a kid I always wanted Mega Man toys and all the different colors from all the different Robot Masters, but oh my gosh, I want some Robot Master toys. But at least we got Dr. Wily, which is something a little unique and different. We don't usually get Dr. Wily action figures, so that is pretty cool. So the first wave here consists of regular Mega Man in the blue bomber attire. We've got Dr. Wily, we've got Thunderbeam Mega Man, we've got Leaf Shield Mega Man, and there's our Chase figure. I have no idea how rare or limited edition it is because it was sitting there with the rest of the wave and there was only one of every figure at my particular GameStop. But this is actually the Atomic Fire Mega Man, but you'll notice that he's on a card back that says Leaf Shield. I did a little searching on the Google machine just to see if this is how everybody's is, and it looks like everybody's finding this on the Leaf Shield packaging. Now, the actual original press photos that came out for this line showed him on a card back that said Atomic Fire, but it seems like everybody's finding him on a Leaf Shield card back. So I don't know what happened there. Something definitely changed, I guess. So I guess you're going to see Atomic Fire Mega Man on a Leaf Shield card back, and like I said, he's got a sticker here that says he's a Chase figure. I don't know how actually rare he is. The back of the box has a cross-sell, which only shows all of the figures without the Atomic Fire version, so it's just technically 4 figures in the wave with 1 Chase figure. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to rip these open. We're going to dive on in, we're going to pull them out of the packaging, including this guy, because that's how I roll, and we're going to check these figures out. Alright, we got Mega Man outside of the box. Going to start right here with our blue bomber. So if we bring in the tape measure, you can see these guys are just a hair over 4 inches tall. So they're actually about in the 5-inch figure scale, because Wily's going to stand a bit taller than Mega Man. Mega Man's shorter, so that makes sense. So these are in that 5-inch figure scale. And all in all, I really like the look of the figures. Mega Man is very happy. He's quite smiley there. But it's a really nice looking figure. It feels nice and solid. The plastic is a bit hard on this guy. And one of the things I'm really going to point out is with the articulation. I found some of the joints really, really hard to turn. So let's just go ahead and get into that real quick. The head is on a ball joint. So you can see it rolls all the way around, looks left, looks right. It's a very, very tight joint. We do have the hinge joints there at the shoulder, so the arms can go outwards, forwards, and backwards. The elbows here are a standard joint that move forward and backward, but this is where I found some of the joints to be very, very tight on some of the figures. Not too bad on Blue here. You can see those bend pretty good. And then we've got a swivel over here on his hand on the right. You can see we got the cannon on the left. There is some interchangeable parts that I'm going to show you in just a bit. We can swivel at the waist. We do have ball joints there at the thighs, but that really only allows the legs to kind of twist and slightly move forwards and backwards just like that. We do have regular knee joints, so you can see they actually work pretty good on this guy here. Actually, look, the right one is very tight. Oh, and sometimes I feel like I'm gonna snap the pegs. So this might be one of those cases where if you get some stuck joints, you might want to do the trick with the hair dryer. If you put it on low heat, put a little bit of heat on there, it should help you loosen that up to bend it, because I ran into some stuck joints quite a bit on these guys. Otherwise, the feet, they're just able to turn kind of all around. They're on a ball joint, but so you can kind of roll them around, move them left and right. I do like that we've got the sculpted and painted bit on the bottom there for the little boosters. You can see the little red, so that's really nice. Otherwise, the only other colors we've got on here is the yellow on the cannon. You can see we've got red on the end, we got red on the earpieces. All in all, it's a really nice looking figure. I think the sculpt is pretty good. The colors are bright and vibrant. The eyes are like tampoed on. One of the things I noticed with Mega Man, and I don't know if it's coming across in the video, but the eye tampos don't quite match up with the sculpt of the eyes on the faces, and it's this way with all of the Mega Man figures, because you can see a little bit of the eye sculpt outside of the tampoed eye there, specifically on the right side of the figure. That's where it's the worst, and you will see that on all of the Mega Man figures. So I don't know if they just didn't match these up. It doesn't look too bad though. I mean, like when you're just looking at them, you don't really notice it. It's only when you're inspecting it that you notice, oh, the sculpt is a little outside of the tampo there. So bit of a bummer on that end. So he does come with 2 interchangeable pieces. First of all, we can swap out the right hand from a fist to an open hand. It's pretty tight. Oh, there we go. You can see it's a pretty thick peg there. So we can just pop on the open hand. There we go. Now, unfortunately, his articulation does not allow you to pose him with his hand up on the cannon. This is about as close as you're going to get. It's not going to work. But it still looks nice for some open-handed shots there. He's just so happy looking. He looks so happy to be firing at the bad guys. So we can also swap out the cannon arm for just a regular fist if you want to. This one, the joint is up here at the elbow because the whole forearm has to come off. So you can see it's a much thinner peg. This is where I ran into some issues with it being really tight, and sometimes on some of my Mega Man figures when I was photographing them, I felt like I was going to break this little peg right here. So I would be very cautious when swapping these in and out. You can see this is a very, very tight joint to get the new one on. So again, the hairdryer trick might help you out just a little bit. But if you want to pose your Mega Man with 2 hands instead of the arm cannon, it is something that you can do. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the other colors of Mega Man that we got in this series. We'll start off with Thunder Beam Mega Man, which of course is a power that he gets from beating Elecman in the very first Mega Man game. This one is colored yellow and gray, so the Mega Man figures themselves are all exactly the same. There are no differences between these guys except for the colors. So a little bit of comparison time here. You can see the blue bomber standing next to our Thunder Beam figure here. So the figures themselves are the same. I sort of wish we would have got at least, at minimum, different facial expressions on all of them. I feel like that could have been a huge improvement to make you want to get all of the other figures. The other thing that I wish these guys came with is maybe like a blast effect so that we could get a Thunder Beam with him and some sort of leaf thing for, you know, I know that that's asking a lot maybe for these lower price point figures, but it just would have been so cool to get something extra. As it is, you're getting the exact same figure, just in a different paint deco. So it comes with the same interchangeable pieces with the fists, you know, that you can swap out for the open hand and the cannon, however you want to do that. And the articulation all functions exactly the same. His arms are bending pretty good on this one here. Yeah, same kind of real tight joints at the knees, so it's definitely something to watch out for. Still have the nice red paint on the bottom. And the colors look great. I do really, really like that. I do want to point out that I got something weird going on with the plastic on the right leg there. You can see there's a bit of a I don't know, it's like a scuff or something, but it's like in the plastic, so it's not part of the paint. So weird little mishap there, but otherwise I love the bright colors on there. He's just not very different from your other one other than that. So moving on to another color, we've got Leaf Shield, which of course comes from beating Woodman in Mega Man 2. This one is green and white, but we do have some nice little yellow highlights, specifically seen like at the trunks and the tops of the legs and the arms there, so that's really, really nice. Otherwise, he's the exact same figure again, just with the same swappable pieces, but he looks really great and the colors are really awesome. And lastly, that's going to bring us to the figure that's the chase figure, which is Atomic Fire Mega Man, which is a power that you obtain from beating Heat Man in Mega Man 2. So this one is yellow and red in look. Got a little bit of paint mishap here. You can see some of the red is bleeding onto the yellow, but otherwise, again, exact same figure, just with a different paint variation, has the same swappable parts. So these are really cool, and like seriously, if you're a big Mega Man fan and you just want to get your favorite Mega Man suits maybe from the various games, these are still really nice to have. I just wish, part of me, the selfish part of me, wants them to have just a little something to differentiate them from each other other than just the colors. So lastly, that's going to bring us to Dr. Wily.
When we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Wily.
Here we go with Dr. Wily. Let me bring in the measurement for him so you can see that he actually is right at 5 inches tall. Right there at the top of his head hits that 5-inch mark. So if we stand him next to Mega Man here, you can see Mega Man is almost a whole head shorter than him, which does make sense. Now, I love the sculpt of this guy. He looks fantastic. I mean, he looks straight out of the artwork for those classic Mega Man video games. His articulation is a little different. Mostly you can just turn the head left and right. He does still have the same kind of hinge joints at the shoulders. They can move forwards and backwards. You can bend at the elbows, very, very tight joints again. You can swivel the wrists. The legs do have hinge joints. The lab coat's a softer, pliable plastic, but it hinders it just a little bit. I do have some weird brown paint. It must have come from the belt to the boots, but there's some brown paint scattered on his blue jeans there, unfortunately. The knees are very, very tight joints. This is where that real hard plastic comes into play. You can bend the knees, but that's all you're going to get out of them. So that's really all the articulation he has. Probably all he needs for a figure like this. You can still get some decent poses with, like, I love the clenched fist over here, so you can do kind of like that curse you Mega Man pose. He's a really nice figure. I think he looks really cool. And it's just really nice getting an action figure of Dr. Wily to add to the collection. So very, very cool stuff. So there you go, my friends. That's a look at the first wave of brand new Mega Man action figures from the folks over at Funko. I love the Dr. Wily. He is definitely the standout of this assortment. I love getting an action figure of him that looks a lot like that classic artwork. The Mega Man figure is nice, not my favorite Mega Man figure that's ever been made, but all in all, it's a really nice series of figures for this lower price point of $9.99. Very similar to what you would see with Jakks Pacific's World of Nintendo line, if you've been buying any of those. I really feel like these kind of fit right in with those, and they even feel very similar. Or if you picked up Funko's Disney Afternoons figures, these feel a lot like those as far as the quality and the plastic and everything like that. So those are the best things I can kind of compare this line to. You get a whole rainbow of different Mega Man colors, and that's cool, but I really wanted to see a little bit more variety. If this line continues, oh my gosh, Funko, give us Robot Masters, please. That is one thing that we never get out of a Mega Man line, is a series of Robot Masters. I feel like we get so many Mega Man toy lines that just give us the same figures over and over. At least we got Dr. Wily this time. I have a bad feeling we're not going to get any more of these figures from Funko, but if we do, fingers crossed for some awesome classic Robot Masters, because those designs lend themselves so well to be action figures. Why don't we have figures of them?
You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.